The key to AI and the key to the future of AI will come from your ideas, will come from the creative ideas, will come from the person that can empathize. And when I say a person that can empathize, a person that understands how someone else feels, a person that can really grasp the feelings and emotions of someone else, someone that can grasp the feelings and emotions and senses of somebody else. That's really the skill that if you can master, and if you can master that as a deep learner, what will happen then, your brain will start to create ideas, your brain will start to see problems, and with every problem that you see as a deep learner, there's your opportunity. Every problem in your life represents an opportunity. If you're not getting up in the morning and you don't have big problems to solve or big obstacles to jump, it just basically means your desires and goals are not high enough. It means that you're trying to play it safe. It means you're just not wanting to take big enough risks. The goal is here as a deep learner, and especially in this era, the more you understand about AI and the more you understand about the mechanics, the more you understand about the philosophy, how it's built, how it's created. The question is, and the question for you, especially for the people out there that are in the non-IT industry, people that don't understand much about this, but you know what you do understand? You understand a lot about life. You understand a lot about emotions. You understand a lot about senses. You're living in the community. And if you can master the skills, can master the skills of deep learning, the deep learning practices, and it's a routine. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. These deep learning practices are very simple. There's a routine, and it's about being consistent, and it's about being disciplined, and it's about becoming fearless. It's about becoming a risk taker. And it's about seeking problems. When you get up in the morning, and I see this now, I have so many problems that day that I have to solve. And I look at my list from the night before, and always I've got my ecstatic desire, my vision, and underneath it is the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day goals that I have to do to reach it. And every single day there's problems, and every single day there's failures, and every single day there's mistakes. But every single time there's a problem, that's also the best moment, because the new problem represents a new opportunity. And then it means you've got to explore more, it means you've got to be more creative. Always, why not? Why can't I do this? Why not? How can we do this? How can we make this happen? Let's keep exploring. We hit more problems. Because the desire is so ecstatic that you just have to keep on going like a machine to find a way through. The purpose of AI is to serve you, is to serve humans. The whole purpose of AI is to make it easier for humans, and even for humans that are not skillful in IT, for example, in this age now. And I was talking to my father, who is about 80 years old, and he's doesn't really have a lot of skills in machines. Doesn't know really how to use Word that well. Doesn't know how to use Excel that well. Doesn't know how to use PowerPoint very well. But he has an idea, because I've been teaching him a little bit about AI. And in this age, you don't necessarily need those skills now, because you can get the AI to do it. You can get the AI to put a PowerPoint for you. You can get an AI to use and to create an Excel for you. You can get an AI to do all those things that someone like that might not be able to do, because he has an idea. And so what he wants, he's got a great idea. So he basically wants the opportunity to do that. And if he didn't have an AI to do those skills for him, he would struggle to put that idea. But because we have got those now AI to do that, and we're connecting AI, we're creating and exciting the philosophy of AI, of what it can and cannot do, how it works, all the structure, because there's so much there to learn and there's so much to get excited about. AI and the teaching of AI, and I have been teaching AI, is not about teaching you about the definitions and teaching you about the lingo and teaching you about all this stuff that you need to know. It's getting you excited about AI. It's really getting you so excited about AI that you get up in the morning and you want to learn more. You get up and you chase the information. It's not a matter of memorizing definitions and reproducing that for something else. Because automatically, once you're excited about a topic, automatically you're just going to chase it. And the best way to get excited about something like AI is to create ideas. And so as you're starting to create ideas using the deep learning practices, and you're using those consistently, daily, and you're exciting your brain neurons, because all you need to do is excite your brain neurons. And as you're exciting the brain neurons, and then you're starting to excite the other brain neurons that you haven't used for a while, all of a sudden all these ideas are coming into your head. You're meeting new people, you're becoming positive, you're killing all this fear and doubts in your head. And then you're getting excited about AI, and then all these ideas and having knowledge about AI and the philosophy and the mechanics of AI and how it works, all of a sudden you can connect some of these brilliant ideas that you may have to this. And so what if we did this, this and this? What if we did this, this and this? Knowing what I know about this, and this can self-learn now, and we connect it to here, how about we do this, this and this? Now, my father, who's again in his 80s, and who's learned a little bit of AI because I've taught him, he's now coming up with an idea that I never ever thought of. In his 80s, he's got no idea how to use a computer, and in his 80s he came up with an idea that I thought, it's not a bad idea. That's actually quite a good idea. And knowing just the bare minimum that he learned about this, he was able to put an idea together. Now we're starting to explore it. And really, that's where it all starts. You have an opportunity. This is the era right now where you have an unlimited amount of opportunity to develop your brain into a deep learning brain model, to learn about AI. And I'm talking about deep learning AI. Yes. Deep learning AI. There's deep learning AI, deep learning AI. We have just launched, because I'm involved in AI, a deep learning AI product that self-learns and self-grows and that has its own desires and then works really hard to solve problems. Because we've programmed it. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. We've given it the data. We've taught it on limited amount of data, and then we said, okay, this is where you've got to get to. Use your skills to try and get there. Find ways to get there. And so it's solving problems. It's making mistakes. It's solving problems. It's learning. It's trialing and error. It's reinforcement. So every experience, it's getting better. Every experience is growing better, but it's got a desire. That's deep learning. When you've got an ecstatic desire, we've given it, and then it works its way to it. And it's a bit like deep learning. It's a bit like developing a master chef. That's right, developing a master chef. Now, to give you an example, there's rules-based AI learning, which is fantastic. And I'm involved in automation, human intelligence automation, which is rules-based AI. And again, very intelligent. For example, if you asked me to go and bake a chocolate cake right now, if you ask me right now to go and bake a world-leading chocolate cake. I can do it. I'm not a chef. I take the recipe. I've got a great recipe. Again, I'm not a chef. I've got a great recipe, and I follow that recipe 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Okay? And I do it, and I'm pretty sure 99% or 95% plus I'm going to make you a great chocolate cake. Now, that's rules-based AI. Deep learning AI, which is a substitute to machine learning AI, what we do, we say, okay, here's what we want you to do. We want you to bake a cake. Here's like 10 different cake recipes, okay? We want you to make those cakes. Here's the end goal. We want you to learn how to make these cakes. And at the end of it, we want you to make a great chocolate cake, okay? So the AI starts experimenting. The AI starts using the tools, starts making mistakes, starts making bad cakes, starts assessing its own performance, assessing its own cake. And all of a sudden, as it's growing and it's getting more skillful, it's understanding the different materials, it's understanding the different ingredients, the tools, the ovens, all what it means, because we've given it a target to make a great cake, and we've given it 10 different types of recipes. It can go and search for more recipes to find different patterns, to learn from it, to start trialing and error. We've given it permission to make mistakes. And all of a sudden, as it's growing and developing, and it's growing and making mistakes, and then slowly it starts making good cakes, and the cake gets better and better, and eventually it gets to ecstatic desire. It's made a world-leading chocolate cake. Now, you're going to say to me, but Ross, you just made a world-leading chocolate cake and you just followed a recipe, and you didn't have to go through all that process. I mean, you didn't have to go through all that killing yourself and all that experimentation and all that thousands and thousands of times of making cakes so you can get to that level. That is correct. That's why rules-based AI is really effective in business, because here's the recipe, we can get it in ASAP and going straight, but there's no learning. It's pretty much here, follow the recipe, do that straight away, do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here's your beautiful cake, right? There's no machine learning there. It's just rules-based AI. It's human intelligence, automation, we'll call it, and it does that, and it does it great, and it's great for business. But the other way is again, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of failures. We're going to allow the AI to self-learn, to self-grow. It's reinforcing itself. It may come back to us and says, look, I don't have enough tools. Can you please give me these tools? And we kind of assist it where we can. But it'll always try and build its own recipe. It will build its own formula. And eventually, it will get to the point where it's built its own world-leading chocolate cake. Now, here's the difference. Deep learning AI, we've just built a chef, a deep learning chef. And this is the point where they can cook anything now. They can cook any type of cake, because they have created all these skills through their own learning, through their own failures, through their own experimentation, through their own analysis of their own performance, that now, with deep learning, not only can they produce a cake, they can produce many different types of cake, but they've got skills that should the ingredients not be, or should something not happen, they understand the concept of making cakes. They're a chef, they're a master chef. And that's deep learning, machine learning type AI. Whereas rules-based, me for example, and I'm not a cook, but I can follow a recipe. I just follow that. I'm not a chef. And if something happens to the oven, or some ingredient is not there, I don't know what to do. I just follow a recipe. And so that's the difference between the two types of AI. Now, we are doing deep learning AI. We're doing AI that self-learns, that reinforces itself with experience, and it's growing and developing. At the end of it, you get a chef. So that's the difference between the two types of AI. I will be announcing with someone else shortly, because I've been asked to do this course outline in terms of teaching AI, because I'm not talking from a technical point of view. I'm working from an exciting point of view. I want to make AI exciting for you. I want to make AI feel like when you read about it, because if I can spark an excitement in your head about AI, you're going to want more of it. And if you're a deep learner at the same time, then that's where the ideas are going to spark, because this is the era. You're in the luckiest era right now, because this is now the beginning. This is where the game begins. This is where AI now can serve anyone. Can serve someone like even my father, who doesn't even know how to use a computer. He now can go and use Word, and he doesn't even know how to use Word. And the goal is, you have an opportunity right now like never before to have a relationship with AI. And the people that will change the world are the deep learners. If you have a deep learning brain model and you combine it with a deep learning AI, and you have an understanding about the philosophy and the mechanism of deep learning AI, and then you because we're about solving problems and creating products. And we're about using our feelings and emotions to understand other people's feelings and emotions, to see the problems and then to find ways to solve them and create products using AI, using deep learning AI. And so the future of AI is going to come from you. You just have to step up to the plate. Don't allow this opportunity, this once in a lifetime opportunity. I say this is the golden era. This is the golden era where anyone can be involved in AI, because the ideas, 95% of how good AI is going to come from the ideas. I read the other day that in business, about 90% of AI projects have failed. And that's because, in my opinion, it's because the ideas weren't strong enough. The people that created the ideas didn't understand the market well enough. And so the problem is, when the ideas are not connected to the market, the engineers are going to build you, the people building, the coders, they're going to build you whatever you want. And sure, they might make the product look great. But if the idea, if the problem solving is not something that people care about, it's not affecting their feelings and emotions, well, it's going to fail. The AI is going to fail. And so the whole purpose of AI, we can make really, really, really smart AI. We can make AI do really, really smart things. ChatGPT, for example, can do really smart things. But so what? If you don't have an idea to solve a problem to be able to use ChatGPT and connect it, then who cares? So that's where the goal is. That's where the future is. And so stay tuned. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be taught. But if you're thinking about getting involved in AI, if you're thinking about that this is not for you, you're not an IT person, well, I'm telling you, my father's in his 80s, a Greek man in his 80s, and he's now understanding AI, and it's not that hard.